All right, welcome to Life Extension Live. We got a special show today. As you can see, Dr. Crystal is in her kitchen. We got a demo for you. I'm Dr. Mike Smith, your host, and my co-host, of course, is Dr. Crystal. What an exciting show today. We're going to be making something that pretty much at its base has turmeric, and we know how good that is for us. The key compound in turmeric is the curcumin. And Dr. Crystal, I mean, how many times have we done podcasts and live shows really talking about the health benefits of this important compound? And so, strong antioxidant, strong anti-inflammatory. And what we're going to be using it for is to create something called golden milk. Now, Dr. Crystal, do you want to I mean, that sounds weird to me, golden milk. I'm not sure.
Very.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and explain to me and the audience what that is? Like what's in this basically?
Right. So it's a drink, and it has been consumed for centuries. In Indian culture, it's a drink that they will. Actually, I saw this really cool video where how we make it now is not really how it's traditionally made. But
Okay.
it's, famous on TikTok, and you just add your milk, dairy or non-dairy, add in some spices. We will present a recipe, but you can kind of make it your own. Some cardamom, ginger,
Yeah.
uh,
That's good.
turmeric, of course, is the star
Yeah. It
ingredient, and
sounds
it's just a nice, soothing drink.
it does. It's I got to tell you, I'm 50-50. I'm not so sure. And I think part of that is because you made me drink a shot of curcumin or turmeric juice once on a
Yes.
live show a couple of years ago, and I still don't think I've recovered from that.
Yo, Eureka. Wait, how does it make you feel when you see this, Dr. Mike?
Well, I love that. I love the root. I love the color, but I will never do a shot of it again. But I'm 50-50 here. I'm very interested
Okay.
in this. We did some research just for the audience so they know, and so it's been used thousands and thousands of years. It's becoming popular today in this country and in the West. But why? What would be reasons for doing this? Well, we already know, right? The main ingredient, turmeric with that compound curcumin, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. But you're really talking about, supporting your overall immune response,
Mm-hmm.
right? Healthy inflammation,
Yes.
heart, brain, joint. I mean, you line it up. There's tons of well-studied and proven benefits of turmeric and curcumin, and some of the other ingredients that we're putting into this also have their own health benefits as well, right?
Very true. I mean, when you talk about, well, most of them, you talk about cinnamon. Many of these things you'll find even in pill form.
Yeah,
But they're very flavorful.
that's
So you
good.
should be cooking with these spices.
Yeah, let's don't. We're going to get into all the spices and stuff first, but you told me, and I guess I don't understand why there's pros and cons of this, because it seems pretty innocent. But what? So we already know the pro: smooth, awesome, refreshing drink, good for your belly, good for your brain, good for your. I mean, blah blah. We just went over that. But what you mentioned some of the cons to maybe doing this.
Well, I'll tell you, in latte form, especially if you are adding lots of sugar, and you're having them all the time, you're going to get some calories.
Yeah.
So, that is something to consider when you think of, should I get my turmeric from a capsule versus in my food? The other concern is the active component in turmeric, those curcuminoids. There is a very small amount of curcuminoids in the turmeric root. And when you compare
Right.
kind of the amount, roughly about, 4% of the turmeric root, give or take, is going to be those curcuminoids. And when you compare that to some of the amounts that's been researched, when you look at curcumin, that most abundant curcuminoid, you're seeing research 400 milligrams, 800 milligrams,
A lot more.
really
Yeah.
a lot more when you have a targeted health goal. So
Right.
you don't want to be misled in thinking I'll just drink this and then I'm okay.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get right in the recipe here in a second because when we talk about ways to sweeten it, maybe we can come up with better, less calorie ways, right? So we'll get into that. A couple of quick questions that we've already had people ask us: is it safe to drink golden milk every day? And then when should I drink it? Like, is this more of a morning thing, an evening thing, or does it matter?
It's my preference is after a meal. And here's why. And you will get, depending on the type of milk that you choose, you will get some fat. But with turmeric and a lot of these spices, they're really oily, believe it or not. And you kind of need some of that fat to kind of help with the absorption. So, and plus it's very soothing. So I like it after a meal, preferably in the evening. It's very calming. Of course, we know the milk and milk peptides are very helpful with relaxing you. Dr. Mike's laughing at me because he knows
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
how in our home there's a whole
Doctor
strategy for
Dr. Crystal
relaxation.
needs a good calming down strategy in the evening. There's no doubt.
So yeah, so that's my preference. But there's no caffeine,
Yeah,
so
that's good. Yeah,
you can
anytime,
drink
really.
this
Yeah,
anytime.
anytime. I mean, when I see this, we're gonna get into the recipe right now. When I see this golden milk, first thing I think I'm gonna put some ice cream in it, but that's probably not good to
Oh,
do.
Dr.
Okay,
Mike.
so let's get into our ingredients and how to do this. Dr. Crystal, I'm gonna let you kind of just go with it, and when I have some
Yes.
comments or questions, I'll just chime in. Okay?
Okay, so to start off, and you can see that recipe on the screen, you just take whatever milk or milk alternative you would prefer. I'm actually using an organic whole milk. Mom, don't get mad because she wants me to have fat free milk. Organic whole milk with lactase in it, so it kind of helps. So it's a
Okay.
lactose free milk, and about 10 ounces of milk. Now, in the instructions, it tells you to mix it in here, but I'm just going to do everything in the pot. So you do that, sweetener of your choice. I have a little maple syrup, but I'm just going to put a little drop of maple syrup simply because the lactate milk is sweet
Okay.
because the enzymes, the lactase enzymes that helps you to break down the milk sugar, which is lactose, it kind of breaks down those sugars, so it's a little bit sweeter.
And if somebody didn't want to use maple syrup or regular sugars and stuff, you could
Hmm.
do maybe honey, maybe agave, right?
Right, but
Monk fruit,
oh yes.
um, or even if you really wanted to just avoid all that, you could do the stevias and stuff like that as well, right? So there's ways to make it sweet but not get the calories or as many calories.
Exactly, yes. And so this is ground turmeric root. Let's see, get it
Woo!
in the camera. Oh, where's the overhead camera? There it is.
You're all over the place. There it is. Gotcha. All right.
And then 4 teaspoon of ground. This is pumpkin spice. So this
Oh,
is actually
ooh.
really all the spices you need. You're going to have some ginger in that pumpkin spice. You're going to have some nutmeg. You're going to have clove and cinnamon all
Wow. So
together.
there's a lot. Yeah. So that mixture isn't just pumpkin. So there's a lot of good antioxidants in that. There's,
Hmm.
you have cinnamon, and I know we're going to do some cinnamon by itself too, but great for, balancing sugar levels. That spice mix is very, very popular. This is reminding me kind of a fall thing, a fall type drink almost.
Well, let me tell you, I have some brewing in the back because you want to let it kind of simmer for about 15 minutes, but I wanted you to see the prep. Now, after that, you're going to take fresh turmeric and grate it. So this is my grated turmeric, and you actually
Man,
want
that's a
2
lot.
teaspoons of grated turmeric.
So let me make sure I got this straight. You had the powdered, right? The turmeric, and now you're putting fresh turmeric on top of that. Woo!
Yes.
That's
Uh-huh.
good stuff, I'll tell you.
And then actually a fourth teaspoon of freshly grated ginger.
Oh, that's going to give it a nice
And
warmth.
I wanted
Yeah.
to show you actually. This is my grater. So I don't know if you can see. I used the larger side of the grater when I was grating it.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
would say the turmeric, maybe do it over by the sink, because you know those uh, pigments will stain. So just
Okay.
be very
And
careful. Don't
when
do it
you
on a
when
white
you
cutting board.
when you're doing and you're doing that with the turmeric, you're doing it with the ginger. Are
Hmm.
you peeling them first? Because I know a lot of people now have decided that you don't really need to peel those roots. That you can actually grate them with the skin and everything on.
Dr. Mike, I'm so happy you brought that up. I kept the skin on, so you can see if you look closely, their skin is still there.
Yeah.
And I only started doing that. One of my girlfriends, she's from the Philippines, and she's been showing me different recipes, and I noticed that she did not peel her ginger, and I said, oh,
Yeah.
okay, maybe that's the secret to why your your food is so delicious.
Yeah.
So
That's
I,
good.
from that point on, I stopped.
So have we added everything in at this point
Yes.
then? Okay.
We've added everything in. You're going to bring this to a low boil, and then thereafter let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Now, when you say now, for those of us that are pretty, we have a hard time in the kitchen cooking, a little cooking challenged. When you say simmer, does that mean you bring it up to a boil first and then turn it off, or are you just putting it on low and letting it kind of just bubble a little bit? Is that what we mean by
Yes,
simmer?
so the low boil, yes, bubble
Okay.
just a little bit. As soon as it starts doing that, then you will turn it all the way down on simmer. So it's just kind of keeping it hot. You may not even see very many bubbles.
Okay.
But the next step, and I'll just do it over here, you want to use a strainer. Just make sure you can see.
Gotcha.
And so
Yep, I
now
see it.
you want to strain out all those larger pieces.
Okay. So a lot of the shaved pieces, they're not really just you're just getting the flavor and the healthy compounds out of it, and then you're
Hmm.
straining what's left out anyways.
Exactly. So
Okay.
the cinnamon stick that we put in there, you're just getting the flavor from the cinnamon
Well,
stick.
I have to ask you that, Dr. Crystal, because if I were doing this, I would probably try to simmer it to the point where everything was dissolved, and then it'd be a burnt mess.
No, Dr. Mike. And just be very careful because milk will burn quickly
Okay.
in a pot. So you want to make sure you're stirring it frequently. So you see there's a now, it's so hard for me to throw this out. I may use it as a nice little I don't know. We'll see.
You'll figure out something. No, I like that.
I'll
There's
figure out
probably
something. So you strain
well,
it.
you know what, Dr. Crystal, you know what you might be able to use that leftover stuff for? Is maybe like make a stock or something, like a turmeric stock.
Yes.
See?
And
I have some ideas.
all right. So now you're ready. You can just pour it in your bowl or in your mug.
Now you didn't let it cool down at all, huh? You're ready to go. So it is
No, because you make it. I mean, what we made is a latte, so
okay.
it's warm. Now I have to tell you, Dr. Mike, don't get mad, but
What?
I have a surprise. Robson, cut to Dr. Mike first.
I don't like
All
this.
right. Now, this is not mandatory. You can cut to me.
What is she doing?
A little whipped cream. Just
Yeah,
just
yes.
bits.
And then make sure you just squirt some in your mouth. Yes.
Look, life extenders, we have to live a little.
That's good.
Just a little
Absolutely.
on
Life is
top.
short.
Where are we? There you are.
Life is short, you guys. Yeah, we're trying to help people live forever-ish, but let's add some whipped cream once in a while to it, right? Yeah. Well,
Dr.
because
Mike,
that's
it
really
is
not
so
that bad.
good.
When you look at this, Dr. Crystal, there's not that much. You got some sugar from the milk. You added a little, I mean, you did not add much maple syrup at all. A little whipped cream on top of that. I mean, that actually probably is pretty low sugar overall, I think.
Yes, and really, if you use with my milk, I probably did not need any of the maple syrup because the milk is kind of sweet, and then the whipped cream is just something special.
Yeah.
Especially if you're having it after dinner, a nice after dinner dessert.
Yeah, that is
But
really
it's
cool.
soothing,
I
and it helps
love
with
it.
digestion.
Yeah, I love it. That's our golden milk recipe. We'll share that. Are we going to share this online? How are we doing that, Dr. Crystal?
Yes, well, they actually, we have an article on lifeextension.com. They can go to lifeextension.com/golden milk. And there's an article all about golden milk, FAQs answered, and the recipe is there as well.
Awesome. That looked good. That is something that I will try. No more turmeric shots by themselves, but that one, I think I'll give it a shot. So, audience, go check it out. Try it out today, tomorrow, and let us know. We'd love to hear back from everybody. Don't forget, we go live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. So, until next time, everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Dr. Mike. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.